Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm here at a special secret location within the state of California because guess what? We have something changed up, redefined, and updated for 2025. What the heck is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is your 2025 Acura MDX. This is the top performance trim known as the Type S. But before we get into this all-wheel drive, changed up, top-selling luxury crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So Acura has been on a roll, bringing new redesigns to their lineup, but also bringing, of course, that crafted precision performance when it comes to not only driving, but also in style and technology. Now, the MDX has been one of those crossover SUVs that has been a sweet spot in Acura's lineup because it really does bring so much versatility, allowing you to be able to utilize the vehicle in many different ways. Now, of course, Type S has been at the forefront, and I remember being at Laguna Seca, not too far away from where we are right now, for the TLX Type S Media First Drive event. And I remember John Acada telling all the journalists, you know what? Acura is really bringing back the performance, and they're doing it with that Type S name. And guess what? They eventually brought it from the TLX to the MDX, and then of course the NSX Type S and that fan favorite, the Acura Integra Type S. Now with crossover SUVs still a very hot segment of the auto market, especially when you look at luxury mid-size SUVs. So what I want to find out is if you're looking for that best new mid-size crossover SUV, you want the versatility, but you also want performance and new technology. Is this new updated 2025 MDX Type S the way to go? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, loving the new color for 2025, Urban Gray Pearl Metallic is one of those shades of gray that no matter if you see it on an Integra, you see it on an RDX, you see it on an NSX, it looks spectacular, really classy, but also sporty at the same time. Now at the front of the business, you're gonna see some subtle changes, but then they're gonna get bigger. Some of the subtle changes is on the side of the headlight housing. They actually darkened the housing just to give you a little bit more sportier feel. You're still gonna get that daytime running lamp known as the chicane daytime running lamp. Remember, chicane, we're talking about racetracks, we're talking about performance. Heck, just a few days ago, Acura won the 12 Hours of Sebring for the first time in the GTP class. Obviously, that's where they develop the tech and then they bring it to the road for all of us to enjoy. But of course, you're still gonna get that chicane daytime running lamp, LED turn signals, and then that multi-jewel beam LED headlight. Now, one of the things that you can't see that I think is really crucial is right here in the corner of the front fascia. There's actually sensors because there's this new Acura 360 watch on this MDX Type S, and that's gonna give you protection all the way around at all four corners. And it's nice that instead of like other brands where they take those sensors and they mount it in the headlight housing, it's nice because that's gonna cut down if you ever have an issue with the headlight housing and needing to get that replaced. The sensors are not there, they're hidden in the corner here. Now, as we come down into that lower corner, massive, absolutely massive, ginormous opening on this reshaped front fascia. So of course, because of the Type S producing more horsepower, more performance, we need to bring cool air for those heat exchangers. And I love the way that they've given the Type S a really unique design starting in this lower corner. So you're gonna see how you have some gloss black, fully functional, and that gives you, like I said, that precision crafted performance. On the lower portion, you are gonna have still full LED fog lamps. And I'm really glad that they didn't stick anything on. Everything is all sculpted nicely into this corner area, and it gives the Type S the aggression, that aggressive look that I think the Type S deserves, because, like I said, when you go on throttle and you get down on the twisty roads, this SUV performs like others cannot. Now, as you come across the front grille area, here are some of the big changes. You'll notice, first of all, there's no perimeter to the exterior of it. So it's nicely inserted into the front fascia. You have your Type S badge, of course. All of these openings are enlarged over your stock other trim grills to allow more cool air. Of course, you're gonna get your forward-facing camera, that ginormous Acura badge. And then I like the way that without having a frame around the grille, you could see how that front fascia extends down. It even gives it more of a perspective of it coming off the front of the vehicle at a larger angle, even though it's not that different from other designs from the past. But I really like what they did in this upper portion, especially with the outline of that grille. Working your way down, you can see how you have that normal peak in the style, how it starts on the front fascia, and even in the lower grille area, you're gonna have full functionality, larger openings to bring more cool air in. But definitely with Urban Gray Pearl Metallic and the tweaks that they did to the front fascia, really gives that Type S a nice performance, sport, luxury style to it that really is gonna stand out from the rest of the pack. Now, as we rise up, everything else on the hood is gonna be the same, and that's not a bad thing because, like I said, you have that nice peak, goes all the way towards the windshield and then evaporates. And then you have some really nice curves that I've always liked about the hood to the Type S, because when you're sitting from behind the wheel, it gives you a nice vantage point to see where the corners of the vehicle are as you're going down your favorite twisty road. Now, as we come around the bend, of course, if we have a new grille, we have a new front fascia, guess what? We have new wheel design. So what you're gonna find is still on the MDX Type S, you're gonna get 21-inch wheels, but what they decided to do was kind of thin out the spokes, nice machine aluminum, and by thinning out those spokes and opening up the area, it really allows you to see that nice large brake rotor, and then of course our Brembo brake calipers with the Acura script on there, bright tomato sauce red. Really digging how they went nice and clean without going too over the top. And if you're wondering, well, what is the size of the tire? You're still gonna get 275 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and of course, we have the super handling all-wheel drive. Now, when it comes to the suspension, you're gonna have that adaptive air ride suspension. That's gonna allow you to be able to take the twists and the turns and not have a bunch of body roll, but it's also gonna be able to give you a comfortable ride when maybe you're just coming home from work on the highway. You'll notice that they continue to bring the gloss black around the fender openings. I'm okay with it because I think that they did a good job without going too high into the rest of the fender. And the gloss black does match the other appointments, especially at the front of the vehicle. Now, as we rise up, underneath the hood, you're still gonna get that 3-liter V6 turbocharged engine. This is a single turbo, not a dual turbo, single turbo. You're looking at 355 horsepower, mated to that slick shifting 10-speed automatic transmission with the super handling all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds. So very surprising, this type of vehicle, especially this has 3-row capability in a mid-size crossover SUV. Now, coming down the side of the rest of the vehicle, you'll notice that Type S badge, just like before. I like the way that they did a good job with placement and overall size. Gloss black on the mirror caps, your LED turn signal still nice and slim and trim. And then from the side of the vehicle, you're still gonna get the same dimensions and proportions from the previous model year. So you're gonna have your gloss black low roof rails. Yes, you could get your crossbars. Yes, you could get your bike carrier, your cargo carrier. You could turn this into that ultimate family performance traveling SUV. You'll also notice how they brought the gloss black on the lower door panels with the side skirt extension, and then working our way towards the rear. I'm telling you, I can't wait to see this color outside because the urban gray pearl metallic really looks good in this situation, but outside in the sun, I think it's gonna pop even more because there's some really nice metal flake that sometimes studio lights don't really get to show off that we'll be able to show you once we go for the first drive. Now, when we get to the tail end of the business, same story as up front. So they went with the taillights, they kind of darkened them a little bit just to give it a nice sporty overall feel. I love all the fine touches that they do to all the elements inside. Full LED, of course. You're gonna have your Type S badge. And then you'll notice that you still have that low roof spoiler that extends out. We do have the wiper. I am gonna have to zonk that. One of these days, I would like to see that get tucked underneath here and maybe just pull the spoiler back just a little bit more. But like I said, with this color, I think it really is just checking off a lot of those boxes that are gonna make people salivate when they see it in person. And then of course, my favorite touch is that functional, real deal quad tip exhaust, nice stainless steel tips, slash cut, large openings to let that V6 turbocharged engine make it sound. And then the way that they finish it off with the gloss black on the lower bumper area just ties in all the touches from the front to the rear of the vehicle. But why don't we go ahead? You think some of the touches on the outside were big? Let's get to the interior because there's big things happening in there in this 2025 MDX Type S. All right, guys, we're inside this updated, refreshed, changed up 2025 Acura MDX Type S. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I need to pull the trigger on a crossover SUV. I don't want a fuddy-duddy one. I don't want a soccer mom one. I want one that has performance. I'm liking this. I can't wait to see the rest of the changes. How much is it? No official pricing is available yet, but I expect Acura to still be very competitive. And remember, going back to the early 2000s, we're talking about 2001, this has been their top selling crossover SUV. And it kind of makes sense. But let's see what changes, and I think it's going to shock you, what changes they have in store for 2025 to the door panels. I love the two-tone material. You have that dark, soft touch material up top that is real wood finish. No veneer, no gloss over it. And you'll see a thin strip of ambient lighting. We'll talk more about that in a second. You do have, of course, your 3 memory seat settings and massage seats. And then all new for 2025, that Bang & Olufsen sound system. Now, with the Type S, you'll notice that the speaker grill cover is a nice dark aluminum. And when you want to know speaker count, get your abacus out, get your calculator out. You're looking at 31 speakers inside this new MDX Type S. Door pocket is large enough for 2 Einstein bagels with a California schmear. What's a California schmear? That's where you take guacamole, put it all over your bagel, and then you have enough room there for a large Appalapa Kappa latte from Starbucks with extra foam. Now going from the door panel to the dash, look at the materials, the stitching, the wood finish. I don't know if Steven could show off the Bang & Olufsen tweeter up there. Really looking good. This is all new. Started with the ZDX. Now this is the second vehicle to get the Bang & Olufsen treatment. It still is a little gloss black heavy, so I am going to zonk that area. But the stitching, you do have an area down below for a 12 volt. You're going to want to run a radar detector with the performance of this thing. And then get ready. I hope you're sitting down. Acura delivered. You complained, and now they're bringing it. This is their new 12.3-inch full touchscreen in this 2025 Acura MDX. It has Google Maps. It has full touchscreen capability, the Google Assistant. Let me show you some of my favorite touches. You have Alexa. That's not one of my favorite though. Get ready for this. So you're going to go into General Settings. We're going to go into Sound. And because we have that Bang & Olufsen system, we do have their Biosonic tone, and surround tuner, which, check this out. You just take one finger and you could actually adjust your bass, your treble, the whole shabam, all with one finger. And I like the way they give a nice description there. Relaxed, warm, energetic. And then, of course, you could adjust your 3D surround. Going back to our main setup, here's something that's also new. Get ready for this. What are we talking about? We're talking about our displays. So you could adjust your displays very easily. I'm going to go back to home because now, instead of going through layers and layers of different screen menus, say you want to change your ambient lighting, boop, that's it. And I love the way that now you could do it based off different locations. So if you're feeling like a Golden Gate kind of mood, you could have the ambient lighting for that. Let's say you want to, lose it all in Vegas, you could have your Vegas Strip lighting effect. Tons of different ways. Fifth Avenue, very cool the way that they did this with these different themes. Ooh, what's this one? Very nice. I like that with the racetrack. It's working for me. Now, another thing that they have is, of course, your Acura watch system. So you're going to hit over on the stock here, this little button that says camera. Boop. Now we have full 360. We have our backup camera, forward-facing camera, and guess what? It's all touchscreen capable. No more touchpad. Even though I was okay with the touchpad, they decided to make all of you very happy. You even have the same setup with your separate side screen here, but very nice, very quick reaction too. Cabin talk, the whole shabam, all with the touch of your finger. And I like the way you can kind of rest your fingers here. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. So that is all new for 2025. And I'll bring back the maps just to start where we, or finish where we started. You have your aluminum stop button. You do have your dual climate control with your AC. Very nice. You can control the rear, your dual climate control. We have, of course, our massage seats. You have your heated seats. And you have, whoa, I'm getting blown away in here. Ah, getting blown away. There we go. No, now we're okay. I wasn't really getting blown away. 3 stages of ventilated seats. Of course, you're still going to have your dynamic mode selector knob with our different modes. And with the air ride suspension, if you notice, you could actually lift as well. So kind of cool the way you could do that. Push this down, USB-C, USB-A. This is going to control your 10-speed automatic. I really like the twist on that. Steven, show them again. There it is. So you could go through your different modes very easily. You got your 10-speed automatic push button system, a real volume knob, and guess what? This has all been redesigned because we don't have to have that precision touchpad anymore. Of course, they're going to give you a Twinkie holder. 1 Twinkie, that's all you can fit in here. 2 cup holders, a nice large wireless charging pad. So if you have that iPhone 47, that's like an iPad, you could put it in there very easily. Super soft material. The stitching, open this up. Of course, you're going to have your little tray for your honey roasted peanuts. And then you have 2 USB-Cs and you have enough room, I would say, for 7 packages of Big League Chew. And you're going to need it because remember, Big League Chew, the flavor does not last very long. And I remember I used to put wads of it in my mouth. My jaw would get tired after chewing on it. Seats. Love the way they now have the embossed Type S, the piping, all the extra stitching. You see these Alcantara inserts? That's new for 2025. Of course, you have power adjustments for the passenger, power adjustments for the driver, a panoramic sunroof, and then 31 speakers in here. There are speakers everywhere. I feel like I'm in Sound Advice. I think they probably have more speakers in here than they had in Sound Advice. But why don't you get your butt over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel and what's new for 2025 in this MDX. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Just like the passenger side, you have 3 memory seat settings and, of course, the massage seats. And remember, with those seat settings, if you have 2 other friends, if you're lucky enough to have 2 people in your life that you could truly call a friend and you are willing to let them borrow your MDX Type S, they can have their own seat setting as well. Now, of course, you're still gonna get all the same appointments, that beautiful aluminum sill plate with the Type S badge on it. You're gonna have a pedal box right out of an Acura race car. Nice large aluminum dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. All the seat controls that are within fingertip reach, and I like the way they put the nice finishes. That's what Acura does. It's all about attention to detail. Now, I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. Even with the panoramic sunroof, even with speakers that are all over the place, I still have plenty of room in here. And then guess where you get to lay your hands? On this beautiful steering wheel. Love the two-piece leather, perforated and smooth, flat bottom with the Type S badge. And then of course you're gonna have flat black on all the switch gear. You do have paddles to go up and down that 10-speed automatic transmission. It is an electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have that 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Now here's the biggest thing. Are you ready for this? Check it out. New for 2025, you could actually take the navigation and put it within the digital gauge cluster. That is the new technology that Acura is bringing for the MDX, and you still have a head-up display. So nice the way that they kept a lot of the good stuff, and then things that they felt like they were lacking, guess what? They've upped the ante. But remember, what's great about this crossover SUV is not just the performance, it's not just the tech, but it's also the 3-row versatility. Let's get in the mid-row and see how your passengers are gonna like this updated 2025 MDX. All right, guys, mid-row time, and I'm telling you right now, it's amazing how they've brought the materials and they really just help create this wonderful experience for everybody, especially with this panoramic glass roof, and like I said, the speakers. It's like Oprah Winfrey works for Acura and said, everybody gets a speaker, because you literally get speakers everywhere in here. 31 of them in a mid-size SUV. That's a lot. Now the backs of the seats, you're still gonna have the leather, the piping, and then you do have large pockets. Easily put, you know, a Tale of Two Cities, maybe 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Tell your kids to put the tech, there's so much new technology in here with the touchscreen and stuff. Have them read a book. It really will go a long way in their future, especially when they find out about Captain Nemo. That's such an important time in a child's life to find that stuff out. Back of the command center, you do have, of course, your rear AC vents. You do have 3 stages of heated seats. I am gonna zonk it. I would like to have seen ventilated seats, but you do have the heated seats, your rear AC vents, and then I like the way that you still get your 12 volt and you get 2 USB-Cs. I would have liked to have seen a home power source here. This does not open, so that's a zonk. But sitting here, lots of room, feeling good. You have your manual security shades, of course, that just go up nicely like that. The seats do slide, and if they slide, that means they recline as well. You're still gonna get that middle seat that is removable, plus, wham bam, thank you ma'am, look at that. I just turned it into captain's chairs with 2 drinks, and then you could put 2 California dogs in here. No, not real dogs, hot dogs, right here with some guacamole on it. That's what a California dog is. If you haven't caught on, anything California involves guacamole. If you don't want this, you could actually take the whole middle section out. We've shown you here on Rady's Rides, and if you see the other 2025 MDX review, we actually remove it, and Steve tries to take it home with him. He didn't get through security. Of course, the seats, the same great material. And then I'm not gonna get in the 3rd row, but I'm gonna show you how easy it is to get in the back. You're just gonna hit the button on the back of the seat, opens up, and then you have a 3rd row in there with USB-As back there, speakers, of course. And I do like the way that Orchid just pops with the other material in here very nicely. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in that cargo area and see how much mail you could haul in the Type S. All right, guys, cargo area time. Obviously, one of the most important areas for any crossover SUV. You're gonna have your electric assist. And just like before, versatility is the name of the game. I love the way that they take the aluminum finish and cover the whole rear edge of the cargo area, because we all know that your kids are not gonna pick their crap up when they get it out of the back of your MDX Type S, they're just gonna drag it out. And this is gonna take a better beating than if it was just plastic. On the left-hand side, they give you a nice nook for a gallon of chocolate milk, very nicely, so it's not gonna slide around. You're also gonna get a power outlet. So if you're at the beach and the kids want that big raft inflated, you could save your lungs for another day and use an electric air compressor. And then when you're putting down the seats, this is one of my favorite things because I don't need complicated. I don't need electric because a lot of times it just takes too long and it's just a pain. But watch this, watch how easy it is. That's it. Seats fold down, that 50-50 split. Of course, the mid-row will fold down to even elevate the space even more. And that's something that the MDX has always been very big on, is that class-leading cargo interior space. And then the last piece of the Acura puzzle when it comes to design and engineering is this right here. You may look at this and say, what's the big deal? You're just gonna lift it up and show us where storage is, but watch this. Yes, you have storage for all those boxes of Twinkies, but what's really nice is sometimes, you know, especially at the beach, you get some dirty sandals, maybe a pail, a shovel. What you do is you just flip it over, and now what you have is that plastic surface so you don't have to mess up the carpet. That is what the Acura designers and engineers do, is come up with creative ways to really maximize not only the space, but also maximize the use of it. Now, I know you want to go on an on-throttle spin. I want to take you for an on-throttle spin, especially I want to go to Angeles Crest Highway in this thing. We can't today, so we're going to have to wrap it up from our secret location in California, so let's get to it. All right, guys, it's been a really exciting time to be here at this special location with this changed up, refreshed 2025 Acura MDX Type S. Of course, we need to thank the whole Acura team for inviting us to see this first in person so that we could bring it to you. Now it's your turn. Let me know down in that comment section. What do you think about the MDX Type S with the changes that Acura has made? Are you happy with the switch to Bang & Olufsen sound system with 31 speakers? Are you happy? Did they make you happy with that 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system and all the other tech and finishes? Let me know in that comment section. They're definitely going to be reading through it. I'm going to be reading through it and try to see what direction you are liking this MDX with. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood Photography, working that camera like a champ. He's been spoiled at this location because the lighting here has been his favorite out of all the different locations that we've been indoors. So show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.